Hey guys, Justin here with the Gear Shack again. Today we're going to cover what my Hill People Gear Tarahumara setup consists of. Now right now there is more on this pack than what typically is. I'm just starting out with what a maximum loadout would be for me per se with this pack, and to kind of give you all an example of what you can accomplish with it. So typically my Tops Brush Wolf, I do not carry it on here. I may keep it strapped like this right here, just so that it's handy. So when I grab my pack, I've already got my big belt knife, because this is the knife I always reach for when I do go outside, exploring, hiking, what have you. So that way it's just contained with my day pack, because that's what this Tarahumara is set up for, is my day pack use, or basically a minimalist 24-hour oh shit survival kit per se when out and about hiking. So that's why this is on here right now. So go ahead and undo these two compression straps. I'm sure most of you all are familiar with the Tarahumara. If not, there's a lot of other videos that shows the ins and outs and the features of it. But real quick, you do have two compression straps that run across it that are hooked into the back here. So we'll undo those, lay the knife out of the way. First thing I'm going to come to is my Tough Possum Gear Modified Possibles pouch. It is the 10x12. This has got all of my primary, most often used gear in it. It is held onto the pack with Grimlocks, so you've got loops down here at the bottom, and then you've got loops up here at the top. In it, let's see, we'll go ahead and we'll just remove it off of here real quick. So you just undo your Grimlocks, pop that off, and then it can flop forward. Under that, I've just got a poncho to show how you can use the Possibles pouch as essentially a capture flap if you need to. So I normally do not pack a poncho with me or a whole lot of rain gear. I honestly try to avoid hiking with rain in the forecast, but a lot of times right now in Kentucky, especially this time of year in spring, you may start out on a hike and it be 30 degrees, so you've got a couple extra layers on. By 10 or 11 o'clock it's up to 70, 75, so therefore it's a good place you can pack those extra layers as you take them off throughout the day, or vice versa. If you start out in the middle of the day and you know it's going to be cool by the time you're done, you can use that as a capture flap. So we'll pop this off here, and then you've got the HPG Tarahumara by itself. This is how it comes. That TPG pouch does not come with it. That is a separate item. So we'll set this off to the side. We'll go over what is in my Possibles pouch, and then we'll do the Tara itself. So in here you can fit a surprising amount of stuff in here. So right off the bat, we've got some flushable wipes. These are like $1 a pack at Walmart. Put them in a gallon Ziploc bag. They work great for anything. Caving, I've used them more so for caving than anything, just to wipe gear off and stuff with when we're done. Things of that nature. Of course, obviously the most obvious if you need to go to the bathroom. But I put them in a gallon Ziploc bag, 1, to keep them from drying out, 2, so you've got somewhere to put your dirty wipes when you're done, and then you can just toss the Ziploc bag in the trash when you get back. Pair of gloves. As you can tell, I kind of go with a gray color scheme. It's always been my thing, so when I found mechanics gloves had gray, we had to get a pair to keep in there. Basic band-aids. You're going to use those more than your trauma kit. I do have a trauma kit in here, and I do have one in my kit bag that I wear in conjunction with this, which I've done a separate video on. I'll link in the description. But basic band-aids, that's what you're going to use the most. A Anchor, I believe this is a 15,000 milliamp. 10,000. It's the Power Core Slim 10,000. This gets used a lot when we're out, especially some of the other guys I go with. We're always making media content for social media and stuff, so that gets used a lot. A Phoenix TK20R V2 light. The yellow tape I put on there for a project at work to keep it from getting scratched up in some clamps that I had it mounted in. But now that it's on there, it does kind of add a little bit of contrast. So I'll probably keep some sort of high-vis tape on there from now on. This is a 21700 light, USB-C rechargeable. Very intuitive to use, but I like it for its runtime and its overall performance. It's a great light for that. That way when I'm out, I can grab this pack. I know I'm gonna have plenty of runtime for even a couple days if I need to, as long as I use a lower mode. My fire kit, which I'll go over separately, work sharp, got it, field sharpener, and then a folding Baco saw. Yes, I carry big knives, but I tell you, since getting a folding saw, I use it way more than anything else. And then a cooking grate. So as you can see, the TPG pouch will hold a lot. You could realistically probably build, and I'm sure there's people out there that have, minimalist overnight survival kits with just this, if you had the skills and it was good weather and you didn't need a whole lot of shelter or anything like that. But for me, this is just my most common stuff I use on the trail and around the camp. So going into the fire kit, which this is just a little cobalt pouch that I picked up. I think it was like $9 for 3 of them. Bic lighter, ferro rod, a little portable camp stove, pocket stove, some Uncle Tommy's fire disc, and a Hillman screw case. These little cases work great for organizing stuff because of how slim they are. And then we've got just some other fire starting packets of stuff and a Ziploc bag. I just keep Ziploc bags stashed. You never know when you're going to need them. So that's just kind of the overview of this. This is a Fire Dragon stove. You can actually store your fuel inside. I usually keep 3 of these. I've got some more on order though. So right now I've got 2 plus some S-bit tabs. I boiled 8 ounces of water in about 8 minutes with this. It's not the fastest by any stretch. It's not my go-to preference if I need to boil water or cook with, but being its compact size, I have boiled water for a frozen meal. I got that in there backwards. It's supposed to go the other way, but oh well. But you can set it up like that right there. Boil your water if you need to. I've cooked steaks on there before, so you can use it. And I just like how convenient this is. It packs in there a lot smaller than say something like a Jet Bull or a Pocket Rocket. So that's why I went with that. I found that for these 2 packs, flat, square, and rectangle items really pack a whole lot better in them than anything round or oddly shaped. So that's kind of how I base everything, and then we stack everything back in here. I've got a pretty consistent order that I have found works well for this. Now this setup, I've been using it since middle of the summer, I think. 2 or 3 months now, maybe a little more than that. I've done a lot of hiking with it, done some cave explorations, short caves, creeks. Holds up very well. It's taken the abuse. It gets dirty, but I don't see any real major signs of wear. But then there's the TPG pouch, just all packed back up and squared away. So set that off to the side here, and now we'll get into the Tara itself. So starting on the outside, I've got just a 24-ounce Ozark Trail water bottle right there. I do have a nesting cup. This is again an Ozark Trail. It's just their basic little cup. I think it's like 16 ounces or something. I don't quite remember. I need to etch it on there. It did come with folding handles, but they made it fit in this pocket just a little too tight. I did not like how it was starting to show wear on the pocket with them, so I just popped them off. I keep the leather gloves in there. I carry pliers in my pocket as well, so I'm not really worried about it. I've pulled it off of my little stove and stuff when it's boiling. It's not been an issue. Again, this is not my primary thing. This is more of a, oh crap, we got caught out, we need to boil some water to purify or fix a meal, whatever. So not having handles isn't a big deal, but it does make it fit down in here a lot better. And that is one of my only complaint with this pack. I do wish the bottle pockets expanded out a little bit bigger, and did not eat up room inside the pack. And I'll show you why. My setup right now, I pretty well can only run one bottle. Now, Hill People Gear does recommend 3-inch diameter bottles as being optimal for this. This one is almost 4. I think it's like 3.5. The nesting cup's like 3 3/4, somewhere in that ballpark. So it is squeezing the full max out of it. I just have not ordered any Hydro Pack Recon bottles to go in here. With that said, on the other side right now, I've been carrying my Phoenix HT30R LEP light, just because it's become a really solid tool for exploration, and it's still new. I'm constantly showing it off to people at shows and stuff, talking about LEP, so it's been riding in there. And that's kind of where this has become. I do have a smaller Contigo 24-ounce bottle. It's tapered fit that will fit down in there. So if I do want 48 ounces of water, I can get it. Just got to do a little bit of stuffing and squeezing, but I can get it in there. On top, I've got the Phoenix BC05 bicycle light. It's just a red light here with multiple modes. I like having it on there just for rear identification when I'm on the trail, if I'm with a group of people. That way whoever's behind me, if it gets late, we can still see each other. If I'm doing any rucking in town at night along the streets, I can turn that on for rear visibility, or even just around camp. I've got a handy red light there for around camp. Many uses for that. It does slide off. You can pop it off the mount. It's USB-C rechargeable. You can take the mount off of there, but it's just a handy little light to have. Flip over to the back side. You've got your pleated back panel. You've got a slip pocket right here. I think it's intended mainly for hydration. I don't run a hydration bladder. So what I actually did was I took a piece of cardboard, a Frog Togs emergency poncho, wrapped that poncho around the cardboard, and then wrapped it in saran wrap to keep the poncho tight and keep it from sliding around. That is my emergency shelter, rain cover, if you want to call it that, for when I'm out and about. Like I said earlier, I don't try to go out, but it is Kentucky. Our weather can vary wildly. So if worse comes to worse, I do have some form of option to help keep me dry in that event. But I made that in there. It also helps kind of just stiffen up the pack a little bit, act a little bit like a frame sheet. Harness, nothing real special about it. I do keep a Phoenix UCO2 on here just to have hands-free lighting. I can reach up, turn that on. Again, it often gets used just mainly for an identification light when I'm out at night, either on the trail or rucking at night in the streets or at the park, just to let other people know on the trail they can see me a little bit easier. But I put it on a quick detach so I can slide it off there if I need to. I probably have more lights on me than 95% of the people, but being a Phoenix dealer and a flashlight nerd, honestly, I keep a lot of these in here just for testing purposes and long-term evaluation. So we get into the actual pack itself. And this pack came with it when I bought this Terra and TPG pouch used. This is a Sneaky Bags brand organizer. In here, I keep a couple of liquid IVs. My snack bag, I've got 3 granola bars, some Welch's fruit snacks. Again, just an empty gallon Ziploc bag for either trash, water collection, if I need it. Bandana, pair of socks, toothbrush, toothpaste, spork, and another pair of boxers. Now, I don't carry a full change of clothes in here, but I carry the socks and the boxers more for comfort items. If my feet get absolutely drenched and I've still got some more miles on the trail to go, I will change out my socks and rotate those. Same with my boxers, what have you. So that all packs down in here, and I just kind of keep this together as one main pouch because it does compress up well, and then I don't see any point in having a bunch more organizers. Do keep a can of off. This is the smooth and dry powder formula. I cannot stand wet filling bug spray. My Essie Azula, small pack of cordage. This is, I've put up a short before over these. I actually have a couple of these in here. These are Great Value brand resealable bags. They work great for organizing stuff, but just a small bit of cordage if I need it. In this one is my water collection and purification. So I've got some potable aqua tabs and then a Millbank bag from Opossum Pouch Soft Good. So scoop it up, strain it, put it in my container, and then I can drop some tabs in there if I need to. Again, these can be used for different things. I keep this in a Ziploc bag so that after I use it, I don't get the rest of my pack wet and dirty. And then the last thing in here is just my med kit. I'm not going to go over all of this, but it's not like, I mean, it's pretty comprehensive for most things that I'm going to need on the trail up to my typical level of skill. So, but that is all that's in my HPG Tarahumara loadout. So that pretty well sums it up, guys. If you got any questions or suggestions, any input, feel free to drop it in the comments below. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Keep your knives sharp and your lights charged. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.